So I'm Kevin Cawley. I work for a company called NewsGator. Has anybody heard of NewsGator? Has anybody not heard of NewsGator? Subscribers. Cool. Awesome. So what I'm going to show tonight is actually a mobile mashup that I did in a couple weekends. I definitely got Dave beat. I spent $0 on this thing in about 10 hours. So it's not a legitimate business. I don't have a monetization mechanism in place, but I did learn a couple valuable things from this that I want to share with you guys. So that's why I'm talking this evening. So first of all, everybody here has heard of Web 2.0 and why Web 2.0 is so cool, and everybody's probably heard of Ajax, and Ajax UIs are a good thing. Asynchronous behavior of Web 2.0 is cool as well, and of course the web is a great thing. But the thing that I found about Web 2.0 that's really the most significant aspect of it is the open APIs that are available. Some of the examples of that are Amazon S3. There's actually an API where you can use their backend store. They've got BitTorrent support on top of that, so you can build a really kick-ass, kick-butt application using Amazon S3. Google, of course, has a lot of APIs. They've got mapping APIs. They've got AdSense APIs. They've got APIs galore. NewsGator has an API. In fact, I used the API to build a company that I sold to NewsGator. I built a mobile application for them using their API. And then last is the Yahoo API, which is a really great API, and that's what I'll be talking about this evening. The other thing I want to talk about is grassroots marketing, and David touched on that a little bit. So the first thing is open APIs. So there's a lot of really cool companies that have very interesting infrastructures, have built a lot of complicated technologies, and then opening that up to developers to build interesting applications. So it's clearly a great way to build software. You've got all this hard technology that's been solved, and you can just glue the pieces together. So my question is it a good way to make money, though, right? So that's the open-ended question that I hope we can get to after my presentation. So I took a picture of a modular home, right? So that's a good way to build a house. All the pieces are already there. You just glue them together, and you get yourself a nice house. So I think of open APIs as a similar thing for software. So the thing I built is called Yahoo Stew, and it started actually at a soccer game with Andy, who's sitting in the front row here. He and I started talking about tech stuff at a Darda soccer game, and I sort of got lost in terminology and about soccer and whatnot, and really found a need for an application that I could have on my phone that could help me learn things about soccer, things about technology terms, things like that. I'd also just read an article in Business 2.0 about Yahoo Answers. They were having like 14 million unique visitors per month. I said, oh, this is interesting. I'll check out Yahoo Answers on my cell phone. Pulled up Yahoo Answers on my cell phone. The page didn't load. It loaded, like it took 2 minutes to load. Just really heavy on graphics, scrolling everywhere. So I went to the Yahoo developer site, and sure enough, they've got an API for answers. They've also got an API for doing local search, for mapping, traffic, weather, things like this. So I said, well, I'll spend a weekend, I'll slap an app together. So that's exactly what I did. I built the app as a tool for me to use. I built it as a way to brand myself and my blog, and a way to also drive traffic back to NewsGator. And also, I've got AdSense on there, so if I get a few bucks and I can buy a new bike that just broke in half, that's supposed to come afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and show the demo now, and you get to actually see some code real quick. It's code. Okay, so I've got an emulator running here. Just got it connected. Also, one of the things I want to talk about too is grassroots marketing, and this is actually the Yahoo developers homepage, and the fourth article right there is a reference back to my blog about this particular application that I'm showing right now. So it just goes to show that one person building an application in his basement can really draw some really great press out of that. So here's the application. Asks you to enter your zip code. There's 4 different things it does right now. It can access Yahoo Answers API. It can hit the local API, do mapping, and get you weather and traffic. So if I jump into the answers piece, come on. minimize some of this other stuff here. That's my youngest data. So I may be curious what RSS is. I've heard this term RSS. I don't know what it is. So I can come into this app and type in RSS, hit search. I can actually go out using the Yahoo API, this massive database they have, and it's going to pull back all the other people that have asked about RSS.
So Corey is actually your web server, which is in your API calls in any format.
No, I'm going right to their servers from the client. Yeah. So
I guess I have to have one. Sorry.
yeah. So I've got no server infrastructure whatsoever, so no cost at all. So here we can see a bunch of answers that people have asked about RSS. The first one is RSS question. So I can drill in there, and that'll make another hit to the answers API and pull back the responses to that question. I get best answers, and I can also see any additional answers that may have come in for that question. So that's pretty useful. It comes in handy. Came in handy a couple weeks ago at a dinner I was having with my parents. We had a big argument about what baby foxes are called. Of course, I got the answers under the table, and I got it right. Does anybody know?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So you can also do, I'll back out of here and do a local search. And the stuff that Peter has worked on would come in really handy here if I didn't actually have to type in a location, if I could just pull it up.
If we broke the other thumb?
Yeah, there you go. So my favorite thing is coffee, so I can look up coffee. And that'll hit the, okay. So that's going to hit the Yahoo API. It's going to find all the coffee shops that are near 80304.
Give it a minute.
Okay.
Hit the Amante Coffee.
So there, yep. So if I hit Amante Coffee, it gives me information, phone numbers, directions, and I can click on that. And then lo and behold, I can go out and hit Yahoo Maps engine. So hit the Yahoo Maps API, I can pull back a map of that area. Just takes a second here.
That's helpful.
So I can zoom in, zoom out. So that's kind of cool. I asked them to add panning, so we'll see if they actually do that for me.
Man, if that thing had GPS.
Yeah, if you had GPS, it's, and then finally I can do weather and traffic, which is another important thing for me. I ride my bike from Denver to Boulder every day, so weather is really important for me. Traffic I don't really care about, but weather is important. So I can pull the weather for Boulder, and it's going to pull back the current forecast, current conditions, and forecast for me. And if there were any traffic incidents, it would pull that as well. So I'll go ahead and just, there wasn't any for Boulder, there may be in Denver. Does anybody know what Denver's at?
202.
202. So we'll see if it finds any traffic incidents right now.
Palm version coming?
I don't know. If I have another weekend, it snowed or something, then I'm hungry now. So there's a bunch of traffic incidents for Denver. So like I said, this is like 2 or 3 weekends. I actually finished it at 3 this morning, literally finished writing the code this morning. So this is fresh, very fresh code. So that's it.
That's great. Questions?
So why Yahoo APIs? Why did you use them over, say, Google or some other ones? Were they just more accessible?
Just by chance. It was the first Google search API answers came up.
Because we're using these same APIs for some of the stuff we're doing, and we found them much more accessible than some of the Google offerings.
Yeah.
At least at this.
I mean, they have a really nice interface. They're pretty consistent with the REST interface.
Yeah.
A couple of them are a little funky. The weather one, I think it was actually RSS. I had to parse RSS, but it's pretty solid.
Cliff, do you want to come up?
Yeah, you got it.
So the model here, Kevin, when someone would go and download this down to their mobile device?
Yeah, it's a client. It's a thick client you have to download.
So you would sell this? Do you have a business? Okay.
It's just branding, literally branding, and yeah.
And how many visitors did you get from the Yahoo?
I had several thousand from that. Yeah.
Can you partner with
Hang on, sorry. Get somebody in the background.
PC guys to sell it at all? Or through
Perhaps,
that?
yeah.
And through, they sell like software through their website, I assume specifically for their mobile device.
Sure, there's a lot of forums out there that may be interested in it. And after hearing about Dave's quick exit, I might actually try to.
I think
sales in
nice
1 year.
match
That'd
over
be
here,
solid.
Don.
You know what? I'm just. How big's the client?
Size-wise,
Yeah.
I'd have to look. I don't know.
Can't be that big if you
It's
And then Joe, you had a question in the back?
Kevin, what was that slide about Barcamp?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh right. Thanks, Joe. Yeah. So the last slide in there is there's Barcamp Boulder. It's happening this Saturday, this Friday evening, and this Friday evening we're meeting here at 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, guys, for letting us use the space. We're going to set the agenda for Saturday, and Saturday it's an all-day event, 9 to 5. We had one in Denver a couple months ago, and it was really, really good. We basically just hang out and then break out in different sessions and talk about tech stuff, talk about startup stuff, whatever people are interested in. We got beer, coffee, food, space. It's a lot of fun. So check that out if you want.
Thank you.